Bold predictions in Baltimore. Will the NFL's passing leader this next season be Lamar Jackson? We'll tell you why that could happen, why it can't happen, what we think is going to happen right here, right now on Ravens Digest. Welcome to the show. It's your host, Bryce Parker. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be covering everything from rumors to highlights to game breakdowns. Everything you want to know about the Baltimore Ravens, you can get it right here on Ravens Digest. And again, if you're new here, make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting, but also make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. You'll never be able to get another chance to say that I was the first 100 subscribers to a channel that covers everything you need to know about your favorite team. So, without further ado, let's get to it. So today, we're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson. Yes, I know. We've had so many videos. We've been at it for over a month now. And for the first time, we're actually going to get a chance to talk about Lamar Jackson. Hey, charging to me, I'll take full responsibility. But again, we're going to talk about the guy who's the two-time MVP, who was the three-time first-team All-Pro in his career. He's the career rushing. He leads career rushing yards for quarterbacks in NFL history, and he hasn't even been 10 seasons within the NFL. Like, that's crazy. This is a guy he's the best dual threat quarterback the NFL has ever seen. He's tied at 4 with the best passer rating, or with the amount of games with the best passer rating in NFL history. And again, Lamar hasn't even hit year 10. Crazy stuff. Last year he had his best passing season, going over 4,000 yards. And this year even be better? Well, one former NFL GM thinks so. One from the Tennessee Titans said that he believes that Lamar Jackson could not even just top his season from last year, but he believes that Lamar Jackson could actually be the league leader in passing in 2025. So we're gonna get into why it could possibly happen. So why Lamar Jackson has a increased arsenal in the pass game. You talk about receivers and tight ends. Flowers got better last year, having his first 1,000-yard season. Bateman, a breakout season that he had this past year. And just moments ago, he was signed to a 3-year extension with the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to get more into depth about what that means going into another video. But I believe that Bateman is just going to keep ascending, especially now that he has had an extension. I believe the Ravens are going to find more ways to implement him in this offseason. And then also Isaiah Likely, another great season from his breakout season in 2023. I believe that Likely is truly going to be the guy that the Ravens are going to go to in the red zone. And also, I just think he's going to be the next best tight end in this, not just within Baltimore, but in the National Football League. I'm so high on Likely. He's a great blocker. He's ready to run games, ready to pass game. He can do it all. I believe that he's eventually going to replace Mark Andrews. And I believe he's going to be that guy that's going to be the glue to this offense within the hashes. Kind of the same way you've seen with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. I believe you're going to possibly see this same connection continue, especially as Lamar has had a connection with Mark Andrews with other years. And then also, they were able to add DeAndre Hopkins during the offseason, another red zone guy, another vet present guy. Whenever I know y'all saw that screenshot of the miles per hour leaders at OTAs, somehow, some way, DeAndre Hopkins is still a guy who's at the top of those numbers for miles per hour with a vet guy who's had a lot of miles on his body. I believe it's going to be an exciting season for DeAndre Hopkins to see what he can be within this Baltimore Ravens attack. And then also, you've been having very good reports coming out of OTAs from Devontae Walker. Last year, he didn't really get a lot of production as we wanted to see possibly. It was a run-heavy game last year, but he did get his one catch was a touchdown. And what you're seeing from OTAs, you're seeing a lot of good things from Walker. You're seeing him being implemented more and more into the offensive scheme. I believe they're going to find a way for a speedy receiver, a tall receiver, something that the Ravens really haven't had reliably in the past couple seasons with Lamar Jackson. I think that this is going to be a guy that is going to add to this dynamic passing attack. And also, I do believe that LaJohntay Wester is going to be a sneaky addition for the Ravens, a slot guy who can, make it happen on third downs, who can get matched up on linebackers, get matched up on safeties, and find ways to create space, especially a guy who's going to bring over his return capability to this offense. You heard it here first. So, as well as, I believe there's going to be extra eyes on trying to stop Derrick Henry as well. You saw last season him coming in Even the Ravens were trying to figure out how they were going to use D. Henry to the best of their abilities. Was this going to be a run game that was going to be centered around just turning around and handing the ball, power run? Was it going to be read options, zone read? And Todd Monken and the Ravens, they figured it out. It took them a couple games, but you saw Derrick Henry go over 1,800 yards. I believe that the Ravens could possibly be trying to replicate that production as well. But also, you're going to see a lot of teams in the NFL try to throw everything they can at this Ravens run attack, not just with Derrick Henry, but also with Lamar Jackson, again, the best dual-threat quarterback we've ever seen. And then now Keaton Mitchell is healthy. Justice Hill came back. You're going to see a three-headed monster with Hill, Mitchell complementing what Henry's able to do in the power running game. So I believe a lot of teams are going to be focused on stopping the run, especially since the Ravens have one of the best run-blocking offensive line that they brought back and added depth to within the NFL draft. Man, I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. But I believe that a lot of teams are going to try to send a blitz at the Ravens running-wise, and it's just going to open up the pass game, especially now that the Ravens have even better targets, better weapons that are getting better. And it's just going to be great. And then also, Ravens have a lot of unfinished business from 2024. Lamar, I believe he was snuffed for MVP. I believe the Ravens, a lot better team than they had showed in the playoffs, losing in the divisional round to the Buffalo Bills. I believe that the Ravens are going to come out aggressive. Lamar is going to come out aggressive. I believe he should have been the MVP last year. He believes he should have been the MVP last year. If you ask him, he's going to be a guy that's going to come out on scorched earth, ready to be aggressive, ready to showcase, and ready to leave it on the field and say it's no doubt that I am the best quarterback and I'm the best player in the National Football League, and it's not even close. And then lastly, it's a contract year for a lot of Ravens going into the season. I covered in the last video with Owe whether he was going to stay or whether he was going to go. Check that out. We covered a lot of the players that are up for contracts in 2025. The Ravens believe they have a window, and these guys believe they have a window as well. Some of them don't know if they're going to return to Baltimore going into next year. So you know what they say about contract guys. They show out. And you have a lot of guys who are trying to prove it, who are trying to get big deals, like Hamilton, Williams, Owe, Kyle Van Noy could be his last year. So on the offensive side and the defensive side, I believe that this is going to be an aggressive season where the Ravens are going to try to put it all on the line and figure it out. Now that we talked about why Lamar Jackson has the facilities and the Ravens have the facilities to make it happen, we're going to talk about what's in their way. So, again, the Ravens have a very heavy running attack, and one of the heaviest running attacks within the National Football League. I think next year the Chargers will probably rival them because of just what they have out there in LA, and then the inept and then how they are inept in the receiving core. I believe that the Chargers are going to be very run dominant, but I do believe that the Ravens will still be at the top of the league. Sorry. Also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got a guy, Derrick Henry. He's running behind one of the best offensive lines. He's running behind a fullback in Patrick Carr, two great blocking tight ends in Andrews and Likely. I believe that the Ravens are going to keep going to the well, which could impact Lamar's passing numbers. Now, one of the best rushing seasons for the Ravens came last year as a whole, and Lamar still was able to have his first 4,000-yard passing season. So can it be done? Yes, but I do believe that being run heavy is going to hurt the chances of Lamar leading the league in passing. Also, I believe that in a quarterback sense, the biggest challenger that Lamar Jackson has in his own division, it is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, he has great weapons in Chase, Higgins. You saw last year, Yossi, he started becoming a guy who was very entrenched in this offensive system. They have a good tight end. Also, the Bengals coming off of a disappointing 2024 where Joe Burrow led the league in passing last year, but it didn't translate to wins because of certain problems that they had in the run game that they had with the defense, which they haven't even shored up yet. They didn't go get it back, that I thought could possibly bolster up the Bengals offense, as well as them having defensive questions that really haven't been answered, and then also with a kind of cloud over their head, figuring out what is going to happen with the future of Trey Hendrickson. I just believe that the Ravens are going to be in better position to win games and not have to win games just throwing the ball having Lamar throw the ball for 400 yards every single game. I believe that the Bengals, that's going to be true for them because they're not going to have fourth quarter leads as much as the Ravens are. So when the Ravens are having fourth quarter leads, they can lean on the run game. They can lean on Lamar himself running. The Bengals, not so much. I believe Joe Burrow is gonna be asked to do so much more than Lamar in this next season, which could hurt the chances of Lamar possibly, going after the passing leader. I guess being the passing leader going into next season. Now, do I think it's possible? Yes, I believe it's possible. Every year, Lamar keeps ascending. He keeps being a better player. He adds something new to his game every single year. Why would I think that is not going to happen again this year? You talk about another year with Todd Monken. You always see these guys get better and better and better once they get comfortable in the system. His first year with Monken, MVP season. The second year with Monken, he has a better season than the MVP season he had, leading, having his best passing season, going over 4,000 yards for the first time. Third year with Monken, you have a great relationship there. You have the run game. You have another year with Derrick Henry. You add the weapons that we talked about earlier in this video. I don't see why it's any problem why the offensive scheme can't create a conducive environment for Baltimore for Lamar Jackson to have a monster passing season in Baltimore this year. But also, one thing I want to point out is I believe Lamar Jackson is going to try to put his stamp on being the best Ravens quarterback we've ever seen. You think about Lamar, and you think about Flacco, and it's kind of like a two-man race. Some people already think that Lamar surpassed him. Personally, I think that this season will just solidify that he surpassed him. But I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to put a stamp on the fact that he is the best quarterback the Baltimore Ravens has ever seen. And the number that I think that Lamar is eyeing is 4,317, which is the career single-season record for passing that belongs to Joe Flacco. I believe that eventually Lamar is going to try to go big game hunting for that number to put his stamp on the leaderboard within this franchise. And what better season to do it than now? It's a season where you have lofty expectations. You have an increased receiver room. I think Lamar Jackson can do it, and I think it's not just a matter of if. I believe it's a matter of when he chases 43-17. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Lamar can do it? Do you think he can lead the league? Can he catch Joe Flacco's 43-17 this season? If he does, and then if he does become the leading passer within this league, what do you think the number is going to be the number that he has to do it? Do you think it's 4,300, 44, 45? Does he need to get into that 46 range to try to make sure that he is holding off Joe Burrow? Also, if it's not Joe Burrow that does it, or if it's not Lamar that does it, who do you think are the other quarterbacks in the National Football League that can get this done? And yeah, like I said, if not Lamar, then who? Let us know in the comments. Thank you all so much for joining us today. This is Ravens Digest. Again, I'm your host, Bryce Parker. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the video, and also let us know what you want us to cover in these next videos. Signing off, and as always, go Flock.